Calling to order at 7:33. Any oral comments? No.
Oh,
Nope.
sure.
Minutes?
I have a comment.
Oh,
Or can you scroll up to the top of the minutes?
wait a minute.
Yeah, they're top. Not the minutes of the agenda. I apologize. Should we be? No, like the very, very top of the document. That remote meeting advisory. We need to get rid of that.
Oh,
Um,
This is what happens when you fully read the agenda. Sorry.
in-person meetings, really?
But
I don't know if I'll ask. This is a town template, so
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know, or like have them change the language so that it's not. We get to do this because we're not Brown Act, right?
Right.
Right.
They
So
should
maybe
include
maybe
that.
add that language to that bit of boilerplate or something. I don't know. Just the thing I noticed as I was reading the agenda for tonight.
Well, you're thorough, Dave.
Sometimes.
Okay. Yep. Nice comment. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Approval of minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I should give
I
you.
can make you laugh, Patty.
You know, you have to approve them because the minute somebody says something about them, they're your job. So I'm just saying. All right. Okay. Any new business? Okay. All business. Let's dive right into it. Evidently, we've got something coming up this Saturday. Has anybody heard anything about it?
Nope, don't know what you're talking about.
I haven't heard a thing. I don't know what's going on. Marcy, are you with us?
Lindsay, come.
Maybe not. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. And let's start with Karen and the starting line.
Okay, so I wanted to let everybody know that I got the most updated registration info today, and it looks like we're at about 390 participants registered as of I don't know, 4 p.m. today. So we're going to break through our estimates, which is awesome. But at the same time, we may have a shortage of various things we've ordered. So we'll figure out how to deal with that. But I think it's awesome that there's going to be so many people and there's big involvement. And I think the town and the community is ready for it. Let's see. In terms of the start, I can't remember what we've shared with you, but Darcy Smith, our new town manager, who's actually on this call tonight, she will be our race starter, which is awesome. And we are going to stagger the start. We're going to have at 10 a.m. the bike start. And then at 10:10, we'll have the runner start. And the goal there is to keep people safe and to not have bikes and runners and horses all mingling together. But we'll still start the cyclists on the left and the runners on the right. And I don't know, Patty, when you talk about the finish line, how that will work. Ed Holland is gathering a bunch of volunteers through BPTS and the CERT group, I guess, led by Robert Seidel and working with the sheriff on all of that. And they are meeting at Triangle Park at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And does anyone have any questions about anything?
Do you have enough volunteers for the start?
Yes, we have the wonderful Cindy Rowe and her husband, Steve. And then we've got Pam and Craig Flower, who have been at the start before, which I thought was really important. Darcy will be there, and I hope that she gets to meet a lot of the town and generate the excitement. And it's possible I will have a son helping me, although that might be too early in the morning for him. So, but I think I'm setting it up so that I'm trying to make the registration go as smoothly as possible. The biggest issue is related to some folks haven't paid yet, so we're working on how we're going to deal with that.
And you want us there at 9? That was,
I do want you there at 9. The roads are going to start closing at 9:30.
okay,
And then I kind of want to go over the instructions of how we're going to handle it. And then there might be people you send over to me, and all of that.
perfect. And it's my recollection that Westridge remains open. So that we,
That is the plan. So what would happen is we'll start the race. I would assume you can leave by 10:30, right? I mean, there shouldn't be much to clean
No.
up or do. There'll be some cones on the road, but we'll take those off. And then we can go on Alpine to Westridge, by Ford Field. And then
Yes.
up and over, in fact, you can actually take Golden Oak and cut over at Peak and go down Cervantes, which is a little
Yeah.
bit less. But you should be able to get to Westridge and then turn right and make it to Town Center. Patty, do you want to?
And
talk
Patty,
about
where do
that?
we park? Because I'm coming to the finish line as well. Do I
Wherever
go,
you can.
so park at the town center if I can
Yeah,
and walk back down?
yeah.
Okay.
So Patty, I do have a question logistically, because Westridge is before the town center. The end of the race, where does the end of the race?
It's at Stonegate.
Okay, it ends at Stonegate, and then you direct everybody to a certain side of the road, right? The
Yeah.
left side?
There's actually, the sheriff is there, and he has a roadblock set up across Port Road so that people can mingle a little bit past the finish line, because there's just a small space between Stonegate and Westridge. And then I'm actually going to have one of the volunteers who are going to direct people over to the side of the if you look at, sorry, I'm going to share here. So sorry. Yeah. So here is,
Westridge,
so
Stonegate.
this is Portola Road. So people be coming down here. The finish line is right here at Stonegate. So it's like right across here. So the sheriff, we block off this intersection right here. So there's still a little room for people to kind of mingle past the finish line. But what we do is we direct them off to the trail here, and they walk the trail down to the town center. So if you remember that warning that we put at the bottom of the latest town page, says to please be careful in this area walking between Westridge and the town center, because there'll be a lot of side traffic. So that's the logistics for the finish line.
Are we wanting to try to push people into the what's the field there? Right past
Springdown?
Springdown field? Because you can cut through the fence there, right?
Yeah, you can cut through Springdown.
and get a
Yeah.
Oh,
little,
wait, there's a wire mesh fence along the edge.
there's some gaps in it though,
No, there's gaps you can get through.
in case it
But they
gets.
should stay on the trail.
Okay.
If they're in Springtown, they should stay on the trails.
All right.
But it really doesn't save them that much time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, it's a short walk. And then I'm gonna put the Bliss Pops somewhere in this area. So they get a Bliss Pop, they take their pop and they walk down the road to the big.
Good.
So if you come down Westridge, if you're working at the finish line, you could actually park along the side of the road. Probably a lot of people park there. You can park here and walk up. By 10:30, quite frankly, most of the busy part of the finish line will be over.
We'll be through.
No, I said most of the busy time.
Oh,
So then you get like, people are still coming across, but it's not the racers. It's the people who are just out, kind of for a fun walk, a fun run. So I'll have to talk to Bill about if it's 10:30. I was gonna have you pass out like trophies and stuff, but that'll be too late. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do there.
well, why should it take me till 10:30? I mean, if the last of the runners goes at 10:10. I guess it would, well,
Well,
You know what, Cindy,
If the
you could
last of
take
the
off.
runner,
Well, Cindy could take off right away, because really where we need the help is in checking people in, right?
Oh, I
And then
see,
once we
yeah.
get them on the road, so as soon as the race starts, I could see that you could take off. Because
okay.
I'll be there. And
okay,
it's
that would help
matter-
because
And
Yeah.
Steve will be there too. So, I mean, yeah, it would just be me leaving.
Yeah,
what I was gonna
I-
ask you guys to do is pass out the trophies and the medals.
Yeah.
And not the medals, the plaques that we got. And I want somebody, I don't want the Priory kids doing that. So,
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
get there ASAP. Okay.
thank you very much. Okay, does that answer your question, David?
Yeah. David.
You're muted.
it might have been my question. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Patty, whoa, hey Patty, so your husband's doing the finish line again, like always?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not traveling this weekend, so I can be there to help him on the finish line if that's where you want me.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, if you could be there around 9:30, that'd be great. Thank you. All right, anything else on the starting line? Yeah, I think Karen's done a great job.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we just got to get
Yeah, it-
everyone to pay.
Yeah, the real issue is the payment system. So we'll figure that out though.
Okay. All right, so the finish line. Finish line is going well. We have made a decision that we are not going to use the big finish blow up thing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Isn't that tradition?
Well, it's been like 3 years.
Oh, well.
Tradition. I bought it like 3 years ago. It just causes a lot of problems, logistics, timing. It's just, and frankly, both Bill and I think it is a significant contributor to the safety issue because it doesn't go all the way across both lanes. It only covers one lane.
In
So
a big one.
it funnels everybody into one lane. And it's a mess to blow up. And anyway, whatever. So we're going to try it this year without it. What we did order are some fun things. Which I hope I could find. Hold on. So we ordered some of these things. Well, come on, come on. So we ordered some of these things.
Oh,
These
awesome.
things. So we're gonna have two at the start. You know, these stand 15 feet tall,
Wow.
and they have their own weighted things at the bottom. So we ordered two for the start, and they ordered two for the finish, and then they come with a check-in thing. So we need to obviously delineate the finish line somehow. So we're gonna use these and see if they work or see if they help in terms of, you know, to kind of keeping the bicyclists on the left and the runners on the right. We're gonna have pylons all the way up the street, probably like 100 yards or so. And we're gonna have people. I have 5 volunteers right now from the Priory, and they're gonna be primarily traffic control. We're gonna have a couple of them standing way at the end and just reminding cyclists to the left, runners to the left, right, cyclists to the left, runners to the right. So if we can just keep everybody funneled into their lane, and then if they're not all trying to, you know, go under the finish line banner and they're staying in their lane, we're thinking that it will be a lot safer.
Mm.
So we're going to try that and see if that works. We're still going to pass out the medals at the end. We hope we have enough. If not, we're just going to kind of make it, you know, kids only, not grown-ups. I find them all over the grass anyway after the picnic. And Cindy, maybe David, you could help just getting the winners of each category and then passing out the plaques, and then maybe get a picture of each one, because we want to try and advertise as much as possible, promote as much as possible on the people who came in for their category.
And so we need, I'm sorry to interrupt, but definitely someone should have a pen and paper so we can, or use your phone, I guess, to record their names.
Yeah,
So when we, yeah, okay, thank you.
I think someone did it on their phone last time. So I think David did it on his phone. So I think that's pretty much on the finish line. Any questions there? We will have the Bliss Pops, I hope. God forbid, if they do not make it, I'm going to personally go down to the Bliss Pops headquarters, and you will see me on the evening news, because I'm going to firebomb the whole goddamn place.
I wouldn't threaten.
They
Right.
flaked a couple years ago, didn't they?
They flamed out a couple years ago, yeah. No, they showed up late.
Mm.
Anyway, so we'll see how they do this year. So that's another thing, Karen, I need to make you, oh, that's what I was gonna do. I need to make you a little kind of promo for your check-in table to remind everybody to get a Bliss Pop at the end. And that's another, we'll have some of the Priory kids who are standing at the end. I'll be giving out the medals, and I'll also be directing traffic to the trail, and they'll also be funneling people over to the Bliss Pop little thing. So our Priory kids will be kind of traffic control more than anything.
Yeah, one of the things I was hoping is that Darcy will speak before the race and she can actually talk, mention the Bliss Pops. So through the megaphone, we can also do that. As people are at the race start, all lined up,
Yeah.
we're gonna go over that. So Darcy, if you're still there,
Yes,
that
I'm
is
here.
something.
Sorry. I've been multitasking, so I
No,
apologize.
that's fine. The flavors are mango, strawberry, and passion fruit.
Sounds delicious.
You gotta get one. You only get one.
Oh,
I only
I
paid.
like mango.
Now, see, here's another deal. I only paid for 400. So
Whoa.
as soon as we have 400, the guy packs up and
Oh,
leaves.
I got a kid here, a 16-year-old. Should we ask her?
Does he have a bib?
Mango,
He has to have a bib.
mango, passion fruit. What was the other one?
Strawberry.
Right.
My daughter says kids like strawberry.
Well,
She says nobody likes mango. I'm guessing
I
most
love
people.
mango.
I know, me too.
You're adults.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we'll do a little survey at the end. Where all these kids at the end are stuck with passion fruit. I don't want passion fruit.
I don't even know what that is. I mean, I probably know, but
You know. It's actually very good.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else about the finish line? Okay. In terms of the picnic, again, I think we're in good shape. Got all the vendors lined up. Passed our health permit. We got the health permit. We're legal. The band, the inflatables, the rentals, the booths, the fire truck, the scouts, the food truck, the face painter, the petting zoo, I think, and the duck tank. God, how can I forget the duck tank?
Did you get volunteers for that?
So at this point in time, we have one teacher who's volunteered for a slot. And I'm still waiting to hear from the principal at Corte Madera. We've been trading messages. But my two sons, Cameron and Duncan, who are 25 and 23, are very willing to be in the dunk tank and to razz the throwers. And what we think is going to happen is other people are going to want to get in it as they come. But they are prepared to be in it in the whole time if necessary. So, but I'm hoping that we get more. And that's on my list to talk to Ms. Shima tomorrow.
I think if
Awesome.
it's a warm day, we'll find out that we'll have volunteers. So anyway, so as far as I know, I'm going through the picnic thing here. I mean, biggest thing now is just logistics, getting everything delivered and set up. We met with Justin today to go over Public Works. How they're going to help. They've been great. And I think, so I'll show up and have fun.
Yeah.
Any questions, picnic or the fun run?
You covered it.
Lost Karen.
Where'd she go?
I don't know.
I'm here and I put myself on mute. My dog keeps going in and out of the house. And so I'm dealing with him. He doesn't have very good meeting manners.
Okay. So going back to the agenda, I think I should probably remember the agenda by this
Game night.
time.
It's game night time.
Yep.
Game night. Okay, game night. Okay. Do we want to talk about this, or do we think we still got the October meeting?
Well,
Yeah.
so I think the October meeting is too close to the November 8th date. I mean, I don't know the date of it, but I was going to propose that we keep things simple. Simple, less is more. And I think we should have a traditional night, where we have 5 rounds of 10, just sort of the way normal trivia nights go. We might be able to, I clearly want to have personally Portola Valley questions in there. Whether it's history or current, council members, whatever it is. And then, I think that we could, have, questions that cater to the Ormondale parents, because sometimes when it's John and I coming up with questions, it's better for the, the 60-something crowd. But, we can look at like sports, science and nature. We could even do, movies and sort of do it all that way. And maybe have also like an autumn theme. So there could be football and Thanksgiving questions and things like that. That's my thought. I mean, I've been thinking a little bit about it, but I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it till after Saturday.
I was actually thinking, I wonder if we spread out what if like each of us took a round and came up with our own questions? So it's not all on one person.
So I think we should get in touch with John, because he's
Yeah.
gonna MC, and I think John does like to be involved in the question creation, from my previous experience. So I've given him lists of questions before, and he used some and came up with it. So I think we could all give him questions to use, but given that he's gonna be the MC, we need to check in with him.
Do we know when he's going to be back?
I don't know, but he is available via email.
Oh, good. That's John.
Okay, so what I might do is shoot him an email and just ask him for his logistics, when he's going to be back in town. Maybe we'll have a short little mini meeting on the trivia night, first week in October or something, if he's going to be back, just to kind of brainstorm, because we need to think about, registration. We need to think about, are we going to charge money? We need to think about, are we going to serve refreshments? Is it still going to be everybody BYOB? Prizes. I mean, there are some things that we kind of need to figure out.
Yeah, I think, I was under the impression that, we were going with the same kind of bring your own food and drink kind of thing, because we thought that worked well, and that we would ask
I think that's
for
fine, as
donations.
long as we decide. Yeah.
Okay, and then quite honestly, I also think that if we don't charge, we can use the Google sign up that we've had in the past, which may be easier because we can access that, and Cindy and I could, access the registration numbers. That stuff is all set up for us if we, and if we want to go with a theme to keep things simple. I would just kind of copy everything we've done in the past, except for the questions.
Right. And no prizes.
Oh, and we definitely do prizes.
I was put in charge of prizes, which I had questions about.
Oh,
So, how many prizes? I mean, I know they're like you threw out bags last time, as I recall, little drawstring bags, right? Were the prizes? I don't know. I don't remember what the prizes were.
They vary, and Cindy, you and I can sort of brainstorm about that.
I have a list of about 10 things I found that are small little prizes that you could give to a whole table. I mean, I'm assuming you give something to each member of a table that wins something.
Yeah, so each round, if we have 5 rounds and they're usually tables of 8, each person would get something. So that would be 5 times 8,
right.
that's 40. And then there's a winning team overall. And we've given out, but we may not have any extra medals from previous Zots to Tots. We might not have them this year, for the team. And then there's a team trophy that gets engraved with their name on it. And I
Okay,
saw that in John's shed when I was getting the Zots to Tots stuff. I saw where the trophy is. It's not displayed proudly, it's in his storage shed.
So I wouldn't need anything for those two, just the 40 little prizes.
Yeah, and we'll just have to see if we do have any extra medals after this this weekend, but that's a really easy thing to get. I mean, I know
Okay.
how to get those, so, but you and I could connect on that.
Okay.
So would we ask for donations to offset prizes?
I'll donate the prizes. I found a lot that are under $100 for enough for 40.
Yeah, and what we've done in the past is we have asked for donations, and Patty, I can't remember the
Did you do
amount that we collected last time. Wasn't it about?
Almost $500, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
the time before, I think it was 700, but we were also serving food and beverages, so
I
people
mean,
might have,
people will stuff a 20 in there, no problem. I mean, $20 a couple for Saturday night entertainment is, a pretty good deal. So,
yeah.
but that's something we could talk about if we've decided we're not going to charge. I think it'd be a pain to charge. I think we're seeing that through the Parks and the ZOTS registration. And I think we potentially need to work with the town to find a simpler way to do this.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, so we're saying no charge, BYOB. I'll find out what John's logistics are, and we'll see about getting the questions. And Cindy's gonna do the prizes. I know Karen wanted to do you could still do decorations, Karen?
I'll
Or no?
still do decorations, I'll do promotion, I'll take a look at the, the sign up process that I set up before and how we did that with registration. And there was one other thing I was going to mention, but I've forgotten what it was. So yes, I'm happy to do all that stuff.
I think I'll still have some tablecloths left over. So,
Okay, we can connect on that.
okay.
We might do a new theme. I like to, do the themes.
I know.
The other,
I know. You always like a theme there.
so there were, I remembered what I was going to say. I think, again, I like the keep it simple concept. I think we should do the 50 questions that are 1 point each from the scorekeeping perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The
And
score
then the
requested that.
tiebreaker for each round. And I had one other, well, I can't remember what it was, but we basically have a framework for this. So it should, oh, I know what I was going to say. Do people want me to see if I can borrow the popcorn machine that we've used in the past from Ladera Rec?
Yes.
Okay, I'll check on that.
What did I get last time? Oh, I got bingo cards, but we don't need bingo cards. We're just gonna print like trivia pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Questions. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I put out the date. So when do you think we should start promoting it? After like after October 1st?
Yeah, we need to spend some time to make sure we've got the registration set up and all of that.
Yeah.
And then once we promote it, people can sign up.
Okay. Yeah, let's just get through the picnic and then.
Yep,
we'll work on stuff.
that's my feeling.
Yeah, I agree. One thing at a time. Okay, any other questions on game night?
Nope.
Are we calling it game night? Are we calling it trivia night?
Well, we should call this one trivia night.
Okay.
For sure.
And if she has a theme, we'll have the theme trivia night.
Well,
it can't-
no, the decor doesn't.
You just want your decor to have a theme, not the trivia.
Yeah, the
night,
decor, not the
music.
trivia night. Yeah,
Okay.
just the decor.
Okay.
maybe just think of an idea, but it's about the question, so I won't go into it. Okay, all right. Busy Parks and Rec. I love it.
Seriously.
Okay, and then we're good for a little bit of time. Okay, next is town court.
Where are we on the resurfacing? I don't know. Nobody's contacted me about anything.
Well, I have sent Robert 2 emails, and I have gotten a response to neither one of them. I sent one for last month's meeting, and I sent one last week for this month's meeting, and I just asked him for a status update. I said, I think it's very important to get the project done before the rains start. That if there's something that we needed to do, because we've done this before, Justin knows what to do. The funds are approved. Why can't we just get going? And Darcy, I don't mean to complain, but I am. I just haven't gotten a response from Robert at all. It's been crickets.
Okay,
So,
I can talk to him about that tomorrow.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So, my recollection may be faulty, but I thought Cindy sent like a diagram out, but then there were questions about the colors and the
Yeah,
paint line, like,
we haven't resolved any of that.
okay,
mean,
so we're just working on getting
We're just
the,
working on, let's get a date for the resurfacing. And
Okay.
then we
There
have
would be
to,
details, yeah.
supply the paint colors and diagram. He's still on the hook, I think, in the action items to provide a diagram. I think we had some comments on the last one. So we could start working on it, but no decision has been made. So,
Yeah. Okay. Is now the time to bring up that a number of the members, you know how there's 3 courts? And we have been assigned court number 1, which is an inferior court. A number of members want court number 2 to be the pickleball court, but what that does is split the 2 tennis courts, which was disliked by Corte Madera School, who uses the courts for 2 months in the spring. And the tennis coach wanted 2 courts next to each other, adjacent courts. However, they only use those courts for 25 hours in any given season. And court 2 is superior. Do you guys see or think there's any way we could convince people that court 2 would be a better pickleball court than court 1 or 3?
so Cindy, why is court 2 superior?
It's in the sun. It doesn't have any trees overhanging. So in the winter, when it rains, court number 1 does not dry. It just does not dry because it's under the shade of these 2 large oak trees. It also drops a lot of pollen and causes a slippery slime to be built up in the 2 corners. Justin's been good about power washing that away because for a while we couldn't use those courts at all because of the slime. It's these 2 trees. You see them? And they drop tons and tons of leaves. They also create shadows in the afternoons, so people don't like to play their matches on them. That's why they've been reserving court 2. So we're overusing court 2 and underusing court 1. And so how it would be a blended court as court 1, pickleball, 4 pickleball courts on court 2, and then basketball and tennis on court 3. And I just, it is a better court. It's better for tennis as well, but there are I mean, there just aren't that many tennis players that use these courts. I don't know.
Well, I do think that from what I've heard, and it's limited information, I'll grant you, I think that tennis players are intimidated and think they can't play there anymore because there is a huge interest in pickleball. So that's my biggest concern is that and also with, changes in the court usage that we are. I just want to make sure we talk to tennis players and we make sure we're fair. That's where I just think,
Well, how
some
do you
people are
propose we do
intimidated.
that? We haven't done that. I'm sure they are, and we're intimidated when tennis players come. In the sense that they take a whole court and there's 16 of us and 2 of them. I mean, there's, it's a,
Well, that's the game, Cindy. That's
yeah,
not,
it's the game. I know,
it's
it's
not
the game.
tennis's fault. I
No,
mean,
it's not.
I don't think that should be any part of the conversation.
No, it shouldn't, but look at court 3. So that's the court that I think tennis players will like because it's slightly separate. However, that one is also very shaded. I don't know if tennis players like shade or not.
Probably don't for the same reason the pickleball players.
We don't. Yeah.
Yeah, the shade, okay, so I don't know if the shade is the issue, but certainly the court surface is the issue. And if you have a court that's slippery, it's a tennis player, because of their movement and coverage on a court, it's going to be, I'm not an expert on this, but I would actually think it might be more dangerous.
Oh, for if you look at the court 1, okay, you can see where the back line of the tennis court is. It doesn't hit those corners. It's got like 20 feet behind the back line. So it's these 2 corners, and they are part of the pickleball courts. That's
Well,
why it's.
wait, so
Wait, I'm
Here's
having
the-
trouble understanding.
Okay, see the end of yeah, look at the end that Patty's showing
That's-
you the end.
That's the tennis court, correct? The white line?
White line. And the corner that's a problem, you can see it. You can see the shading there. That's the slime.
this is where the leaves are dropped.
But the
Right.
pickleball court isn't on that. The pickleball
Yes, it
court
is.
it's the 2,
Yes, it is.
okay,
It's not directly on it, but the slime encroaches and all the
This
leaves
is the pickleball. The
support.
yellow is the no.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
keep
go all
going,
the way to
all
the
the way down
fence.
to the fence almost.
Where's the net? Oh, I guess that one just
That
doesn't
one
have
does
a
not have
net
a
on
net
it.
on
There's one on the right-hand side
See,
that's
the
up.
yellow is the pickleball court.
Right.
So
But see how
here's,
far the pickleball court goes to the back versus the tennis?
yeah,
So
Except that,
tennis really isn't affected by that slime. We are.
okay. I mean, you do need to remember that a lot of tennis is played behind the baseline too.
Yes, but look how
Not-
much
but
room they have.
not-
They have 20 feet.
Yeah.
That's 20 feet.
well, a couple of thoughts. First of all, I don't think we should use language that says, let's give pickleball the superior court and give tennis the inferior court. I mean,
No.
seriously, that's not what we're solving for. So I just personally don't, I would prefer us not to use that kind of language. I think we have to look at the court surface and how it impacts each of the games. And I think that corner, I mean, I have been in that corner when there's a lot of leaves and it's wet and it's slippery. Same thing here. I think if you put tennis on that court, personally, I think you're going to have the same issues. I think tennis is now defaulting, if they play at all, to court 3 because they've got the net. They don't have to worry about pickleball balls and people wandering and things like that. And it's just, once we get the lines straightened out, I just think it's a better court for tennis. I'm not a tennis player, so
you know,
I can't speak to that, but they still have to share it with basketball. I mean, there's no easy solution here.
I have
No,
a
there isn't.
thought. I have another thought, which is,
I have my hand raised.
can we trim the trees? I mean, if it becomes a safety issue on the courts, and they're overhanging. Is that a possibility to improve all of the court surfaces?
I don't know, because I mean, look at it. This big tree that's at the bottom by where the cars are, that's not actually overhanging. It just drops all of its stuff and the wind blows it in there. I mean, it's just always full of leaves, all fall.
I think it's worth
Looking
maybe
at-
talking to Robert and asking him about that. I don't know. I don't know when the last time the trees were trimmed. I'm just saying that might be a solution for every user
that's
of
true.
any
That's
of these
true.
courts.
Cut the tree down.
Not
Oh,
down,
no, 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 no.
just back.
David, did
Cindy.
you have a comment?
Yeah, when they, during, oh, I didn't do that. During league games, do they, use all 4 courts?
Oh, no, league games only take 2 courts, but
So they can use so they don't, so that's, their argument is terrible because they can use the ones that are
on the outer edge.
on the outer edge.
That's what I believe.
Okay. so-
Yeah, I don't think that they have, I do believe that those 2 outer courts on court 1 are fine for league matches. They're disturbed. They wouldn't want to use the ones that are close to the fence because those do have bad lighting issues, but the other 2 are pretty much fine.
Yeah,
You
okay.
know, it is clear that court 2 has all the sunshine because there's no trees anywhere near it.
No, yeah, I agree.
But I think the outer 2 courts would be fine, and then they can have their what do you call it, spectators on the other 2 courts
Mhm.
sitting in the shade. That would be,
Well, I mean, the other thing we could do is try and pull the tennis players, which we have not had good luck with in the past. We could try and get more input from the tennis community, because I think it is important to get their point of view. We've sent out surveys before. We've, asked some of the more common players, but it's just, I don't know if it's representative because we get just such a small sample and so few people that respond. And I don't know if it's, to Karen's point, that they've just given up, or if it's, hey, court 3 is working good enough. We've resolved the fact that pickleball's taken over the world, and we're, not gonna fight the hall or something like that. I mean, I don't know.
well, I took a look at the SCEDA system because I like numbers. And there are 100 tennis players registered on the SCEDA system, 100. And yet I have seen maybe 10 tennis players out there, and I'm there a lot. What I think we should do is use the SCEDA system to contact them and figure out what to ask them that would help us decide why they're not there more. What do you think?
Certainly we can do that.
I think that's a good idea because at one point in time they attempted to
Well, they
register, right, to reserve courts. So there's something going on.
there's something going on because the number of people that reserved in 2025 is only 15. 15 tennis reservations.
Is that all court 3?
No, it was all court 2.
Was that also when it was priority tennis?
It still is priority tennis.
Well, but that's when they reserve it, right? It's not that they're reserving other courts. Okay.
I don't think they know, they're aware that they can reserve court 3. That we didn't like advertise that anywhere. And I just happened to notice it when I went onto the reservation system. Oh, look, court 3's there now. But I guess
Well, I mean,
why
court 2, just from the lines, right? And the basketball hoops on the other one and all of that, court 2 is obviously much more preferable for tennis than
Oh, yeah.
court 3 with what's there right now.
Exactly. When we get them resurfaced and court 3 looks a lot better because it's got a lot of lines. It's got everything from tetherball to full court basket. It's got a lot. I think it'll be cleaner. It'll only have those two end circles, and that barely touches the tennis court.
Okay, sharing a proposal.
Yeah.
Hold on, Dana, I see you're, well, maybe I should take your comment first. Dana, go ahead.
Where's Dana?
Dana,
Muted.
you're on mute.
There, unmute. You guys, I am an arborist. I am a horticulturalist. There are 2 oaks over there, and I think one of them could be removed, the one that's closest to the court, and I think it would make the other oak much happier. Anyway, I think that you can manage this. You can do it. And I'm actually here to be talking about the bathrooms at Ford Field. But I kind of got sucked into this one, and I'm excited about it. I think that I think that court should not be wet and slimy. And I think removing that tree would probably make the other tree much happier and in much better shape. Okay, thank you.
Dana, do you mean the tree that's by the at the baseball field end?
Yes, yes. I think there are 2 things happening there. You can see it looking down.
Huh.
And I think that, and I also think that the tree could be managed much more easily for debris falling.
You're talking
Yes,
about
that
in this
tree.
corner?
See, there's
Right
what
corner.
on the right-hand side, it's much, is that a second tree?
No, that's part of
It's
it.
the same tree?
Yeah.
Well, I think that could be cut back very easily, and it would make the tree happier.
Huh.
Anyway, just think about it. I mean, I think you can manage the trees. And on the other side, those trees need to be managed too, or you're going to be in trouble.
The other side. You mean
The
down?
other side where the basketball hoops are.
Oh, the big one over there.
Yeah, I mean it could be pruned beautifully. And it would probably, I mean, the trees at town center need some pruning. And I haven't said anything
That's
about it because of the budget. I mean, the trees at town hall need help. So
So
anyway, I support you guys doing something with the trees. Adios.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Okay, well, we could do both. So, I'm hearing, some positive, thoughts about trying to connect with the tennis players on SCETA and getting their input, maybe on a couple different issues, why they're not playing there. I think we'd have to phrase the questions right so we don't get like, we get constructive feedback.
Feedback. I want feedback. I want them to answer. We want them to
Yeah,
say.
we do.
So
We
Patty,
really-
do you want to work with me with that?
Yep, let's work together on that.
Okay.
And then maybe we could get an arborist out to look at the trees.
Do we have the budget for that? We can?
Well,
Or-
they could come out and give us a quote. They
Okay.
can't charge us anything.
Well, I would also question if that's a Parks and Rec budget item or elsewhere.
That's conservation, maybe.
Could be. Yeah,
should-
conservation should come out and look at the trees.
Yeah, we should. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll send a note to the conservation. Who is that? That's
It's
doing
it's
conservation now?
Marianne Plunder.
Marianne.
Marianne
Yeah,
Plunder
I know
now.
Marianne. She'll be at the picnic on Saturday. I'll
What's a
walk
tag?
over there with her. Okay, awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Cindy, you had another agenda item.
And what was it?
The pickleball league guidelines.
Oh, the league guidelines. Did you put up Patty, you put a thing that we're going to propose together in here?
I did.
You did.
Wait, was it the court usage and reservation policy? Because you sent that
There
out.
is, yeah, I did the court usage and Patty did.
Oh,
something that said proposal for new policy regarding pickleball league.
Oh, I don't remember that.
In the
Yeah,
agenda.
this is it.
Uh,
Oh,
And that's where we looked at the league and what it's composed of. So they have 8 teams now, which is causing a pretty large jump in the number of reservations that are being used. And we have historically reserved court 2 for league play because it wasn't so pervasive. So what's happening is that on Saturdays and Sundays, pickleball has the court in the mornings, and then the league is taking them in the afternoons, which leaves no time for tennis on court 1 or court 2. We're on court 2 anyway. Court 1's always pickleball now. So we thought that needed to be remedied, that if it is in fact a tennis priority court, we can't be reserving it all day on the weekends, especially. So we took a look at the teams, and there are 2 teams that have, one of them has 9 players and only one is a Portola Valley resident, which is,
I have it on the screen, Cindy.
you have it? Oh, you put it up. Okay, good. So the women's team, it's women's P2, has 9 total with 1 PV resident. That's just kind of not okay. We were thinking that what we would like to see for all teams who are going to reserve those courts, they need to have at least 50% residents on the team. Does that make sense? Does that?
you know, I would question if it should even be higher, like 60% residents or 75% residents. Particularly if these courts are being used all the time. I guess, I don't know. I mean, at first blush, it seems as though it should be, the majority should be PV residents. A majority, not just half. I don't know how other people feel about that.
Well, I'm given that we're a small town, and in order to get good competition, we do have to have outsiders. There's no question about that. But I'm not wed to 50%, 60%, 65%. Something that's more than half, I think, is appropriate.
Anybody else have any thoughts on
Anybody else?
that?
I think 50 is fine.
50 is fine.
I think we should make it at least 50 now. And also restrict where they can play. And the fact that we can't have away league matches on our courts, and see what it does to the volume. And if it gets out of control, I think we need to tighten it up a little more.
So
That's
Cindy,
okay.
I think you mentioned this in our last meeting, but I was told that Mitchell Park has so many, that's in Palo Alto.
Yes.
It now has so many, the pickleball usage has tremendously increased that they're not allowed to host matches there anymore.
Well, they never
And
have.
that,
They had their own league for a while. They can host their own. But once they join this league where all the rest of the teams in the area are, this is called the PIP. Once they join that, they don't allow those matches on their courts.
well, when you say they host their own, was this just a Palo Alto league you're talking
Yeah,
about?
all Palo Alto.
Okay, well, that makes sense, right? So now
Yeah,
what's happened
sure.
is they're moved, okay, because they joined this new league, they're now trying to find a new, home base. Because, so I personally have some concerns. I realize other people feel differently, and that's a democracy, but it's a growing sport. It's getting bigger and bigger, and we're gonna have to figure out how we manage this going forward.
I
Yeah.
agree. So maybe if we take baby steps, we can figure this out. I mean, the
Yeah.
other thing is that I want confirmation, I want ongoing reporting on confirmation, if I can be redundant, that all of these teams are paying their fees. I sent a note to Tony a couple of weeks ago, and I by no means am here to completely rag on every single town staff member. Darcy, please don't take it that way. They are all busy doing incredible work. Did acknowledge my email, and he said he would look into it, but I haven't heard back. So I know it's on his to-do list. At least he told me it was. So that's just a site that is something that I want to make sure on an ongoing basis that fees are being paid. Not only for pickleball, I want to track Little League, I want to track soccer. I want to make sure that the town is getting everything that they should be getting from our fees. So that's
Stops
kind of,
parking,
Pardon?
stops parking,
Zots
Yes.
parking, oh
put
yeah.
that in, make that as
Yes.
part of your inquiry.
yes.
Well,
Completely agree with that.
because it's the same type of fee as the other, as the field fee.
I agree. I completely agree with you, David. Completely agree. Okay, so how do we feel about this as a proposed policy change?
What's the
Well,
PVPB?
PV pickleball?
Yeah,
What is it?
what is it?
Oh, it's a 501c7 organization?
Okay. And what's its charter?
Oh, charter, what does that mean?
What does it do?
What do we do, Cindy?
Oh, we pay for equipment.
Well, we do more than that. We
We organize, we pay for equipment,
we organize events.
yeah,
We look at
organize the
policies like
events, yeah.
this and propose. It's kind of a a sub team to Parks and Rec that helps manage pickleball and proposes changes to Parks and Rec because they're closer to the sport.
Okay.
They have this kind of information that we don't.
Okay.
And so all of this stuff came out of a meeting that we had, that we think the court, now that court one is pickleball, the nets are always up. We think that court one should be reserved for their league matches. And since their league matches generally happen on weekend afternoons, those courts are free weekends afternoons. And I think that would work out better, and that would leave court two freer for people to attempt to play tennis. I think we ought to say something in our questionnaire about that too, ensure that court two remains available. Because if they do come and there's 10 people there, it's intimidating. They would not ask us to leave. I know that, and so we're kind of hoping that we can keep them a little freer than they are now, especially on weekends. So we were thinking that we would just change the pickleball court, number one, to be able to be reserved for league play, for league matches. And just shift them all.
And
So it's
Cindy, would
shifting.
that be for every pickleball match? I know I play in the ladies' daytime for Alpine Hills, and I know we played over on court 2. I'm just wondering,
Yeah,
would it be
the
for
ladies
every?
as well. Yeah. Well, the
Okay,
ladies team isn't 50% Portola Valley. They'll have to fix that, or they can't reserve at all.
okay.
But
I
it would be-
was
it
just
would
wondering,
be
it would be for all teams to
all
go
teams.
over to court 1. Okay.
That court two cannot be reserved by pickleball.
Yeah,
Court
Yeah,
two is
so-
not reservable for pickleball.
right. So we're freeing up court 2. League matches can only be played on court 1. We're saying that non-Portola Val pickleball league teams cannot play their home games here. So for Mitchell League teams, they've been playing their home games here because they can't reserve their courts. We won't allow
All
that.
of their home games, or just their home games against our teams?
All of their home
Against
games.
our team. No, against our team.
All right.
Oh, against us. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one or two matches but it's, it's like if we don't let our own people reserve, then we can't let them,
Right.
So,
and the 50% residency. Okay. Any more discussion? Okay, can I call this?
Would you be willing to tell them that that this could be evaluated and may go higher in terms of percentage of residency? So they're
Yes.
aware, just so they're
Yeah.
aware that this is all under evaluation and subject to
I'd be
stricter
fine with that.
requirements. Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna
Thank you.
call a vote. All those in favor of implementing this policy change?
I,
aye.
Do we have this? Hold
All
on.
those opposed? Okay. All right. You want to go through your court
Do it.
policy thing?
oh,
Just, sorry, do we have the authority for this?
what does that mean? Authority for this?
I propose it to the town manager who needs to approve it.
Okay. Because it's really, what we're doing is saying whether or not they can reserve. We're making a policy about what people can reserve the courts through the existing field and
Well, we're
court
doing
reservation structure, right?
that plus residency. Two things, two big things.
Right, well, yeah, but that's right now you can be a non-resident and reserve field. Right, or apply to reserve
Reserve.
fields.
You can?
Are you talking about the Little League and soccer teams, Dave?
Yes,
So Palo Alto could come here and reserve the field?
they could request to reserve the field.
Who knew?
Like Stanford Strikers is majority not PV, right? But that organization reserves the field. So I'm just wondering, like, what we're really allowed to do.
Well, I think your point is valid, David, in that we need to take a broader look at our policies, potentially make sure they're reasonable, consistent, etc. I think this came about because there was issue regarding availability of resources.
No, I understand why we're doing it, and I think it's the right thing. I just don't know whether we can.
Whether
Well,
it's,
Like,
The
do we
other
have the
thing-
authority to do this? or
Well,
not?
I see Darcy's hand raised, so maybe I'll defer to her.
Hi, yes. I think the council would need to approve the policy.
Oh,
And I like your idea, Patty, of looking at other policies and maybe bundling policy recommendations together. Where I've seen this, and I think Patty and Karen, I might have sent you an email maybe on Sunday with a link to what Menlo Park has. And I think it might be in their fee schedule. And so if it's in the fee schedule or in a policy document, then my thought is it has to be adopted by the town council.
okay.
It is in our fee schedule. As a non-resident, you pay a
Yeah.
higher, but you can
Yeah.
still make the reservation.
So then what your committee would do would make a recommendation to me, and then I could work with you on that recommendation, right? And give you feedback if needed, maybe from a legal perspective, for example, I could work with the town attorney to look at the recommendations to make sure they meet any legal requirements. Initially, I did talk to her about a preference. And for example, Menlo Park does give court reservation preference or priority to residents. So we could look at that, but it would have to meet the requirements to not be discriminatory. But
Okay, wait.
the thought is, the thought is that residents, taxpayers pay for these courts, right? And so some priority is probably appropriate. But I think the exact nuts and bolts of the policy might need some additional refinement.
Okay, but I'm a little confused. There's nothing in this policy that allows non-residents to make anybody, if one of these teams is reserving a court for a league match, there will be PV residents, at least 50% on that team. So this is not, in my simple mind, and I stress the word simple, a policy about non-residents making reservations, because we have non-residents on all of these teams. It's just that the team has to have at least 50% residency, and then they're allowed to make a reservation.
Well,
Yeah. We can certainly look into the recommendation. I think if it meets any legal requirements, which I generally think is for like resident reservations and the team, I can't reference a city that has the team policy, but in theory, it seems reasonable. We just want to make sure it meets, right, the legal test, and then that ultimately the town council approves it.
Okay, I'm a
So-
little confused about legality here, but
yeah,
It
and
may be
Sure.
nothing, but it's just always wise for me to just mention, because we just want to be fair and equitable, right? And I don't know what the test is. It probably seems reasonable, right? And fair, but when we look at new policies that have prioritization or requirements, just to protect ourselves from any criticism, right? From headlines in the paper, just always good to have the attorney look at it.
okay, all right. All right, so
Can
I'll work with you offline on this. Karen, you have a
yeah,
comment?
I want to bring up when we're talking about consistency with baseball and soccer field rentals. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that there's fees for renting out those recreational facilities, the soccer fields or the league, but there's no court rental fee. There's
There is.
nothing
true.
to the league
No, these leagues pay fees.
Yeah, they pay.
The leagues pay fees, but the fee that it doesn't go to Portola Valley for renting the court
Yes, it does.
like it
Yes,
does.
it does. $100 a person, a season.
Okay, my bad. Thank you.
In fact, you're the one that got that done.
No.
Well,
You're the one
yeah,
that brought it up.
okay.
We got it done. They've been paying for the last, I think, 3 seasons, right? 2 or 3 seasons
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay,
And
good.
in the policy and in the court and field, it's a field and court reservation policy. If you try to reserve a field online, well, it's harder now because it's this automated thing, but it's a court reservation thing too.
That's
And-
why I said I want to confirm that those payments are being made. So
And then
I-
they have proof of insurance too.
that's one
Right.
of the things they have to carry. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And the town should be checking to make sure they have proof of insurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
Rita Williams. I know I'm not really a member, but Lindsay is, my husband, who, as you know, is approaching 80 and has a lot of medical problems. And he has been listening tonight. I have been his sort of proxy sitting here. And he is Mr. Baseball, and he firmly agrees with what you said about the fees and stuff. He has fought for the fields for years. So anyway, I don't know that I was allowed to say anything, but I
Rita,
wanted you to know
Rita,
that I'm really here because of Lindsay.
absolutely. We
He's
love
not-
hearing, we love
Okay.
hearing from you, Rita. No
Okay.
worries.
I'm not, I mean, I'm assuming he's still on the committee, but he didn't seem to get many notes about it, but he is with us and he's just not on camera. So he
Give him our
wanted,
best. We miss him.
I will. And he also wanted me to, and I will agree to do this, is we've always helped in some way with the picnic and the race. I've done all sorts of stuff through the years, as has he. He can't really get around very well, but if you have something at a table for him to do for an hour or two, where he doesn't have to move around much, he would love to be a part of the picnic in some way or the race.
Thank you, Rita. I will definitely find something.
And I will be there with him to make sure that it works.
Yeah, I'll send you a note.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so sounds like we passed this, but need to work with Darcy on the next iteration of this. And it also sounds like we have a broader initiative to take a look at all of the fees, which I think the town is doing anyway. So maybe we can insert ourselves into that process and make sure that we at least understand them, and that if there's any concerns about consistency or fairness, that we bring those to the forefront. That makes sense?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
One last thing, sorry.
One last thing.
If we apply this PV membership to other things like that, is intractable. Right, like you can't say Stanford Strikers reservation is contingent about them being 50% PV. Like you can't do that for Alpine Little League, things like that. That will make those, can't even do it for like Portola Valley adult soccer. Like that will,
You mean you can't do it because it's not logistically possible, or you
it's
can't
not
do it
logistically
because
possible.
it would wreck the teams?
It would wreck the teams. They would not qualify to use the fields, and then the fields would go unused.
Okay. That's certainly something to take into account. I don't think we're gonna have that problem in pickleball.
I'm just saying, but if we apply it generally
I
to be
understand.
fair and
Yeah.
equitable, then it breaks these other things. So I just
Yep,
wanted,
I heard exactly what you said.
I
Yeah.
want us to all be aware of that.
No, I think that's fair.
isn't
Okay.
adult softball, you have to live or work in PV?
They do have that self-implied
Yeah,
thing. The
Well,
league,
that's-
the adult softball has made that rule on their own.
which is what pickleball could do, correct?
Agreed.
Okay,
But adult softball, to my knowledge, has never had problems getting Portola Valley
no,
residents.
You'd be surprised.
Really? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, we got to move on here.
okay.
Otherwise, we'll be here till town council time. Okay, Sydney,
Yeah.
you sent out something.
Yeah, the policy, because Dave brought up last time that our policy was out of whack with what we're actually doing for the last year. So I made a crack at, I just sent it to you. Can you share it?
Yep, I'm calling it up.
And so I just made the changes to reflect how it is, sort of. Because we didn't even put court 3 in there in the beginning. I mean, we just didn't have any of that. So
I
all
know,
that is the
it's really
change.
outdated
Yeah, it
on
was outdated.
on the website.
So I added court 3 to say basketball and tennis, and that there's no pickleball there. Pickleball is using courts 1 and 2 in the mornings. We had it on Saturdays till 1 and on Sundays till noon, or vice versa. And I said, well, why don't we just make it till noon? Because everybody starts leaving then anyway. So I changed that so that it's pickleball both days in the morning and tennis both days in the afternoon.
Really?
So
And then,
I was having a little trouble reading the changes, I'm sorry to say. I mean, I know Dave asked about on court 2, you've got 8 AM to 1 PM, so that should change to 12 PM,
oh, it
right?
should, yeah, that should be.
But over here under court 1, it looks like you took out all the stuff for Saturday.
That's because pickleball
Pickleball is now
has
Saturday. and
priority on
Sunday.
court 1 all the time,
24/7.
24/7.
Yeah. There's no, we never take the nets off. And it's been that way for a year and no one's complained.
So all this is saying is that you can only reserve presumably for league play afternoon.
Yeah, just read this last part here. That's all that's new.
But that doesn't jive with the 1 PM stop on court 2.
Well,
I
let's
need to fix that.
make sure she understands court 1 first. So court 1 is pickleball all the time.
Okay.
Court
With,
2, yeah, go ahead, Cindy, sorry.
Yeah, I just need to change that 1 o'clock to 12
Yeah,
o'clock.
so this should be 12.
Yeah,
Okay. So we're saying on court 2 on Saturday, pickleball
And
has it in the
Sunday.
morning and tennis has it in the afternoon.
correct.
So if I'm a tennis player and and you may say this will never happen, but just let me present a scenario. And I go and the court 2 is open, and I start playing tennis at 11 a.m. I'm just going to give the example. And
What day of the
then there's this Saturday, Sunday, sometime on the weekend.
Yep.
Okay. It's open. And there's people playing basketball on court 3 or tennis. Somebody from pickleball could come and kick me off the
Correct.
court,
In 10 minutes, you get 10 minutes.
and for one pickleball court.
Sure. And they
Yeah,
could
I
kick
I
us
do
off.
I
They can
still
kick
I do
off-
feel like, I mean,
They
I
can-
realize that
Well, it's vice versa.
pickleball
Karen.
is,
Vice
Not just
versa
so-
too.
Wait, it's vice versa too. So if tennis players are playing, pickleball players are playing in the afternoon on Sunday, and tennis players come, they can kick off pickleball.
They could kick off 16 people.
yeah, but tennis doesn't have any morning slots at all. And as you know, I mean,
Yes, they
Oh.
have all court 3.
well, they don't have that. They might have it or they might not have it because they share it.
Correct.
Yep.
I mean, we could make, okay, I mean, do you want to just say pickleball only gets court 1 and tennis always gets court 2 and remove all the lines?
I don't actually have the right answer. I just want to point out that I am concerned that tennis is just being swept away, and that's my concern. Is it right or not? I don't know. It just
Well, I think
mean,
we'll get better answers
personally,
from-
I prefer to play tennis in the morning, but I also have another court I can go play at. So I just my concern is about the tennis players, and maybe this is something we can chat with them about when we do this SCETA poll, right?
Yeah. I think we don't have any answers we're not tennis players.
No, we're saying once we get the
What-
survey back.
Do we have a posted, like, say it's early morning and I show up to play tennis and it's full of pickleball players and it's their priority time anyway, and someone's playing basketball. Like, do we have a policy that says the basketball players have to leave in an hour or something like that?
Not the basketball,
tennis?
because that's kind of new. Court 2 has to be cleared, and I did have to clear it. I had to take 2 pickleball courts out the other day for some tennis players
No,
that.
no, I mean like, while pickleball still has priority, if a group of tennis people want to play and there's basketball people, do the basketball people, can they just stay all day? Or do they have to make way for the,
We do not have any
don't have
time
time.
limit on
Alright.
basketball currently, no. We could,
or vice versa, like if some
Vice
people are
versa.
playing tennis and some basketball players come?
Yeah, we haven't actually addressed that.
I've seen that in other places. We might want to add something like that.
That's actually a good point. We didn't make a policy for them.
Okay.
okay, so that's the weekend. Is there anything big on the weekdays?
Uh,
I think we're just clarifying court 1 for
is
league
pickleball,
matches.
yeah, and court 2 is just tennis
Court 2 is tennis all the time.
all the time, Monday through Friday.
Oh, but okay.
Well, except for
Does
when we
that
have
actually happen?
classes and,
Yeah,
I mean, when you see pickleball on court 2, if it's not a class, it's drop-in, and they have to vacate if tennis players show up. But if the court's empty, pickleball can play.
and it's
Yeah,
empty.
I
most of the
think
time.
I think either way, if you show up and a court is taken, very difficult to ask people to vacate. It's
I
just a
agree with
hard
that
thing to
100%.
do. Either
I-
way,
I
Yeah.
agree 100%.
I just
don't
wish
think
there was
that's-
an easier way.
Wish we had room for a court.
That's why we have a reservation system.
And we do encourage reservations, and I would encourage them when we do that survey to please make reservations so that we know. Like I always check it before we take over the courts.
So I have a question on the A, B, C, D differentiation for the
Yeah,
so all 4 courts are available for league matches to be reserved. Is that what I'm seeing?
yes,
Okay, because really we want them to do like B and D or whichever the ones are the farthest
Yeah.
away from the
or the
trees.
farthest away from the
That's probably
tree.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and that's what they'll do. They're not
Okay,
gonna
great.
like it, but I don't.
But I'm reading this again. I was confused by that crossed out knot. So yeah, okay, great.
Crossed out, not.
In the court C and D,
at all time.
there's a crossed out knot.
Reservations allowed for league matches, yeah. So
Which is
C and D
what
are
we-
allowed. They can choose whichever courts they want out of the 4. That what they like to do is take all 4 courts so that they can sit in chairs and watch their players play. But
Didn't you say
I'm-
that's not cool?
So-
in
that's not cool.
previously?
I mean, if pickleball players want to come and play on one, whether or not there's a match, they should be able to.
Yeah, mm.
I can only share my one time that I was over there for a match, and we played on the, I don't know the letters, the courts closest to the tennis courts. Both of those the basketball court, the court 3. We played as close to court 3, but we
Yep.
were on court 2.
Yeah,
And then they had spectators on court 1, and they had like their team practice and lessons going on. I mean, spectators on the other 2 courts on court 2. And then there were team practices and lessons going on court 1. So, I mean, there was a lot going on. But we did play on court 2, closest to the
And
basketball
now we're saying
courts.
that you can't have league play on court 2.
Right,
at all.
right.
You
And
can
that
only
would
have
be
court
good.
play.
Yeah. Okay.
and I think, the spectators can sit outside the fence. I mean, seriously. I mean, they don't
Yeah.
need to be sitting
It's
on
a
the,
nice little sidewalk there.
yeah.
It's
There is.
shaded, unless we cut down the oak tree, and that's not shaded.
Yeah. Or they could, sit out back, just,
Okay, so what am I hearing about this as a proposed change? Do we want to wait until we hear the survey, maybe?
I would. I think it would be bad to make the change and not bad, but maybe premature to make the change and then get the survey and learn something. I mean, we may not learn anything, but I know there was some stuff that had to get changed anyway, though, Cindy, right?
yeah, there is.
So,
Yeah, the webpage is really
It's
updated.
really, really outdated.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
now
I'm not sure.
except for the other policy would go into effect, so that doesn't impact the league play policy.
So remind me again why we don't want league play to be able to reserve court 2.
Because because their matches are mostly on weekend afternoons and we have the court all morning, so then they have it
Got
all
it. Okay, so
afternoon.
okay.
And it just didn't seem right that we don't give them any time during the weekend.
That further locks out tennis.
It really did. I mean, once we
Okay,
get
that's
court
'cause
3
but that's a
better,
weekend thing. Is that, do we
Yeah.
want to allow it on weekdays?
They don't-
allow what?
Reservation of court 2 for pickleball.
They don't need it. They never, the only people that have matches during the week are the ladies' daytime.
All right,
Everybody
so-
else works.
Yeah, it's true.
suckers.
Yeah, there are people that work.
You're retired, David, remember
Uh,
that?
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, so I'm hearing, table this until we get a little more feedback. Or not. What am I hearing from the group?
I don't see why we're tabling it. What's in there that's not true already?
Well, what you're doing well, I understand what you're saying is the way the usage is. And I guess my thought, Cindy, is that the tennis players right now are supposed to have priority on court 2 on one of the mornings,
Sunday
One of the-
morning,
It
Sunday
was
morning.
Saturday.
Saturday,
It was
Sat-
Saturday.
Saturday morning.
Whichever morning it is, and you're taking it away without hearing from the tennis players. That was my concern. Some of the other stuff, we've already made the decision about
Well,
where
yes,
league matches go, right?
yeah. The reason is that we've been using it Saturday mornings for a year, and absolutely no one has complained.
Be-
And so I'm not taking it away. It's not being used, and that's why we
Well,
started.
well,
we don't-
it's
Cindy, we don't know if
Don't know.
the tennis
You're right.
players just aren't showing up because pickleball's always there.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
if silence doesn't mean
Okay, so that's the one change you don't want made, is the Saturday.
yeah, and it sounds like from your perspective it's happening anyway, so
It doesn't matter.
whatever. Yeah.
We'll still be playing Saturday mornings, so.
Well, maybe we don't put it in writing until we get feedback.
I think that's a good idea.
Where do we change that drop-in time on PV pickleball to when when pickleball has priority and move it to Saturday afternoons or whenever the right time is?
But say that again?
Like, when do you change the PV pickleball Saturday drop-in or Sunday drop-in? I forget which one is wrong, to the right time, to the current usage time.
It is correct now. Yeah, it says we're there Saturday mornings.
Well, this should be 12.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but then which morning is tennis supposed to have priority?
Saturday. But we've been
Right, so
using,
the PV pickleball website shouldn't say there's a drop-in on that court that effectively makes that court used on Saturday mornings.
yeah, but that's not the town policy website. That's my website.
Right,
Well-
but the town policy says that should be priority tennis, so it's kind
And
of,
it says it right
David, it
outside
can
the
be
court.
both.
It can be-
Priority tennis just means that if they make a reservation or they show up, they can kick off pickleball. But if there's nobody playing on the court, pickleball can play. That's what drop-in means. So it doesn't mean the courts sit empty if pickleball players want to play and there's nobody there to play tennis. Does that make sense?
yes, but again, no two tennis players are not gonna
Agreed.
kick off 16 pickleball players.
Maybe the survey we hear from the tennis players that they are afraid's not the word, they're intimidated when they show up and want to play, and it's supposed to be their priority time, and pickleball's got 4 games going and they don't feel like they can kick them off. If we get that feedback, then yes, maybe we should say drop-in is not allowed. But I think what we're saying is let's get that feedback, and until we get that feedback, let's use the courts. I'm putting words into people's mouths there, but that's what I'm thinking we're saying.
Could I
Yeah.
ask a question just as someone not very involved in this, but
Sure.
do you have a signage up at all that says
Yes,
Yes.
tennis
Big
8
one.
to 12 on Saturday exclusively? And then a link to where you go to look at
We
further
don't
rules?
use the word exclusive. We do have signage up that says, like right now, Saturday morning, tennis is the priority group.
And
a
it's
very,
on that court.
on that court.
You
Okay.
know,
And-
but to Rita's point, it's, and again, I could be wrong on this because I haven't been over there, but isn't it just an 11, the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper?
no, it's
I
a
mean, maybe,
3 foot, no, it's a 3 foot, what do you call those, sandwich board that I had made out of plexiglass stuff. It's a large sign. It's right under, you know where the kiosk thing is, Karen?
yeah,
It sits right
I-
under it. Big.
and it's this chart, correct?
Yes, correct.
I'm just wondering if maybe we could review our signage and make it, and if there were a way to make it clearer, I don't know. I'll think about it, but because sometimes if there's a lot of words on a piece of paper, people aren't necessarily reading them.
I'll take a
So,
picture of it.
unfortunately.
I'll take a picture and send it to you. You can see if you think it's okay.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
or
basically,
I'm thinking about the
basically
format.
the old schedule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got,
Yeah.
it's not, it's just the table part. It's not all the verbiage. It's really not that many words. I'll take
Yeah.
a picture and show it to you.
Okay,
Might
thank
even
you.
have it here.
I mean, we could, there's no money, but you could make bigger signs, post them on each court, and it's specific to, okay, on court 2, blah, 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 and on court 1. But again, that's money. So
Yeah,
maybe
and
that's the
I
right solution.
have to think a little bit more, but my thought was as if there was a big sign that said, on Saturday mornings, tennis has priority. If ball players are on there and tennis players come, you must vacate the court. You see, something that's very specific to how that it's okay to ask someone to vacate. But I don't know. Again, I haven't spent any time. It's just a thought in my head right now.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, I'm trying to bring the plane in for a landing here. Because we've been circling. We're still circling and I'm getting a headache. Leave things as they are. Gonna do the survey. We're gonna get some feedback and we're gonna revisit it in terms of schedule, logistics, priority, and signage. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
David, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fun.
Stephen, you joined us. Are you okay with that?
Yes, thank you. Sorry I was late. The Alpine Little League board meeting just ended and I hopped in as soon as I could. But yeah, agree.
All right. Okay. Looks like we've lost Darcy. Okay. All right. So that's tennis. Let's move along and let's talk about the poop patrol.
Oh,
Sorry. Wait,
Oh, I didn't hear what you said either. I was like, what is she talking about?
I know.
we should have moved that. That was a mistake.
Sorry, David?
We should have moved this up in the agenda.
I was thinking the same thing, but
Oh.
so Patty, do you want to start or you want me to start?
Go ahead.
Okay, so as you know, we've been working on concepts for some type of flush ADA compliant bathrooms along with a joint concession, a building that would house a concession area as well. And Patty and I met with Darcy, and one of the things that was explained to us, Darcy has a lot of knowledge in this area, which is wonderful and is a tremendous resource, is that because this is considered a capital improvement by the town, this is a policy decision that can be made by town council. This is not something where we would have to go apply for a variance within a setback. It's a different beast than if it were a private property owner. And what she recommended is that we, and we're a town manager committee, so we need to go through the town manager and request a study session by the council. And the main things that would be addressed are, should we be looking at this capital improvement project to replace both the snack shack and the porta potties? Should we consider putting that building within the setback, perhaps, using that existing area where the snack shack is? And then also probably should this, in terms of funding, making it very clear that the grant, we'd have to get the building, in order to get the grant, we probably have to finish the construction by January of 2028. And also to be considering whether the rest of this could be funded through the PV fund through private donations. So we sent you all this memo that would go to Darcy, and I know you didn't have a lot of time to look at it, but we were hoping that we could get your comments on it and your thoughts and any things that we may have missed or that we might want to consider, so that we can get this to Darcy and actually try to get on a council meeting this fall. And this would be, again, a study session. It wouldn't necessarily be a decision-making. It's just to really have them consider this proposal. Patty, do you want to add anything?
Maybe only specifically to the grant. So Darcy's been able to kind of pinpoint where the grant is in the government paperwork. We do have documentation that they've extended the grant until June 30th, although 2028, although they did make a comment that it would be beneficial to have it completed by January so that they could complete their review by the June 30th date. Darcy has requested an extension of that time. She's not shared that with us, but she indicated that she has to see if we could potentially get more time on that particular grant. We did talk briefly about maybe trying to increase the amount or going for another grant. Darcy kind of walked us through why that's a very difficult proposition, given the type of grant, given our population, given the fact that we are not in a community that is disadvantaged, for lack of a better word. It's much more difficult for us to get money. So we should take advantage of it whenever we can get it. So there was a lot of talk about really trying to kind of move this along quickly so that we can at least get the 180,000 that were set aside right now by the state. And if not, potentially use that for other purposes so it doesn't go unused. But that, I think, was another discussion point around the grant. And then also using the PV fund as a way to for the council to approve this as a project for private donations that would allow us to use the PV fund to augment the state grant funds. And, got to move quickly on that because, as we all know, it's time consuming to ramp up, a fund for donations. We'd like to capitalize on the success of the Alpine team and the PR that it's gotten. We think that would be very advantageous. So speed is kind of the essence here, and study session is and for from Darcy's direction, the fastest way to go about getting this front and center.
Yeah, and the only thing I would add is if the council the next steps after that, if the council approves it, is that we would work with the town would work with a landscape architect to really look at the site and figure out, you know, how it fits within Portola Valley and with the landscaping and all of that. So
Why-
that would be,
Landscape architect?
yes.
Okay, that seems odd.
I've got it.
It's really essentially looking at the site and putting things together and looking at the landscaping around it. I mean, maybe there's screening that would go on, you know, just really trying to set it up in that way. That was her recommendation.
the aesthetics, right?
Correct.
The so I had two quick points on this. The topic tonight came up and there was some historical context around the corridor, the scenic corridor, and that becoming an issue. Is that something that the study group would kind of come together on and decide if that would be a holdup, or are we past that?
No, this would, Steve, that would be, excuse me, that would be a part of this town council study session. The
Okay.
town council has the ability to make the decision on what it wants to do. And it can choose to say, let's just replace, you know, they've got the area with the snack shack and the porta potties. And Patty, why don't you go up, no, go down to the attachments. If people haven't had a chance to read through this, it shows the conceptual design, it shows the layout of Ford and where the setbacks are. And then this is essentially, you know, it's rough. It's my first attempt at a map using Google Maps, but if you take the back of the deck of the snack shack and you know, you look at the snack shack and then sort of the area that you've got in between the snack shack and the porta potties and around the porta potties, we're talking about this sort of area here.
Mhm.
And then showing where the electrical box is, that, you know, the junction box, there's a water hook up there. The sewer line is the yellow line running across the street, but the town can make the decision to, the town council, excuse me, can make that decision to construct within that setback, essentially about where it is now in that area that I've indicated or somewhere else. And it doesn't go through the same process as if it were a private
Yeah.
property owner,
Okay.
because it's a
Okay.
town capital improvement project.
Okay, yeah, that's good news. From my understanding, and I don't have a ton of historical experience with this, this initiative had made some progress in the past, and then it got shut down because of the scenic corridor requirement. So now that can be maybe circumvented by the town council, like you had mentioned, then maybe it won't be an issue. But I think getting the study group together as soon as possible is a great idea. And the other thing that came out of the meeting was the appetite for Alpine Little League to contribute to the overall cost. And I feel like once we get to that point, getting a rough estimate of what that number could look like from the league would be a great next step, because we reviewed budget this evening and they've got a nice budget.
Well, yeah, that would be great. And then we would also want to partner with Little League in fundraising, you know,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
whatever might be there is awesome, but we do want to have a robust fundraising. We talked about maybe we could have a donor wall on the side of the building.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, or, you know, something like that, is to really be creative in how we get the funding for it. I wanted to mention one thing. Well, I can't remember what it was. So to your question, but hopefully that answers.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
mean,
perfect.
that's great. That's great that the Little League though is behind it. And, you know, if we get, oh, I know what I was gonna say. So the council can just make the decision, but bear in mind, the study session will have public meetings. And so there may be members of the public that will come out and be
Opposing.
opposed to it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we need to realize everybody has their own opinion, and we need to listen to that. And so we don't know where the council will end up, but we need to get in front of them to at least present our argument.
And
Great.
I think, I may be putting words in people's mouths here, but I think the reasoning that Darcy was pushing the consultation with a landscape architect is merely around the fact that, I mean, we can bring up a functional building. We know there's a sewer line. We know there's some engineering that needs to happen there. What the what a very important part of the project is going to be for both the town council and we think the residents is the look of it. How is it going to fit into where it is? Is it going to stand out? Can we hide it? It's just, Portola Valley, as well as the rest of us, is, really, is it going to fit? And that's where a landscape architect can really sell it with the design, and we can, fit the functional piece in very, very quickly. So I think, again, I think I'm kind of putting words in her mouth, but I think that was her reasoning. That's the most important thing we need to solve for, but it may be the most important thing that may get, pushback or feedback from Portola Valley residents. I don't know, Karen, if you agree with that or not. But.
I do agree with that. I think we will have people who have fundamental issues with building within the setback, even though there's an existing building there. So I think that's why we need to show that this, again, we should be open to all alternatives. The goal is to, we have an old dilapidated snack shack that's going to need replacing, and we have porta potties that we all would like flush restrooms, and we want to do the best thing we can for the town.
This is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Lovely. That's our gateway.
But if people had an opportunity, well, let me put it this way. If people had an opportunity to read through the document and you have some comments or questions pertaining, well, any comments or questions, but then pertaining to the document, we'd love to hear them. And I think we lost Dana, I know, wanted to speak about it, or talk, I see what her comments were, and she, as you know, she's really into natural environment and aesthetics and all of that. That's kind of what she does on ASCC. So it's unfortunate, and Darcy's not here either, but Dave has his hand up.
I think we need to engage a civil engineer as soon as possible about what the septic is going to be and how that's going to impact the site and what the requirements are going to be.
Okay,
I think we should mention it here.
I think they're more important than the landscape architect, to be honest.
So I think from Darcy's perspective, this landscape architect would be able to be the coordinator for that.
No way.
Not
of the sewage.
Well, so she's
Sewer
worked with
hookup and
people that have
requirement.
worked on public restrooms, and I think she had some companies that she knows have done public projects. Patty, what do you recall specifically? I mean, she seemed to be
San Bruno Aquatics Center was the one that she brought up. Although that's $70 million building. I mean, I think it's worth asking Darcy the question about, should we point out in this, is this the right place to bring that up? Or is that more something that you do in the study session? Where would we cover it?
Yeah. So we can definitely go back and ask her about that. Other questions, comments?
Do people think this is the right direction.
I do.
So I
I like-
will share with you, I have had somebody say, have you considered putting it over on the first base side? And my answer was, yes, we have thought about that. It's more complex because of where, the electrical, it's further away from the sewer and the water. But the other thing is if you have a concessions, you're gonna need some sort of road to be bringing things in, some sort of pathway, something, as well as, ADA compliant bathrooms are gonna require accessibility, and you're gonna be building some kind of concrete. I don't know the extent of it, but it becomes a much more elaborate project, and it's gonna make it much more commercial on that side of the field. And when the person heard that, they said, oh yeah, I hadn't considered all that stuff. But these are the things that are gonna come up, I think.
Yeah, the natural kind of way that the games are viewed and where people congregate, that would be throwing a wrench into the whole scenario by placing it over there on top of the logistical points that you just made, Karen.
Yeah, it would change that beautiful open space into
Yeah,
a more commercial area. And I'm not sure that, I personally am not in favor of that. So,
agreed.
So
but we'll
just-
see what, people have opinions and they're all entitled to share them. So,
We also have to provide access to the janitorial staff as well.
right,
Yes, agreed.
right. So it
Yeah,
becomes,
maintenance- Maintenance costs are a big consideration.
yeah. But if it's over in another area, it's not just a building, it's a road and a pathway kind of thing is what's gonna have to happen.
So Karen, I may be wrong. I have to look. I thought this was the existing shack over here.
By the water.
No, I actually outlined the shack. If these are picnic tables here, Patty.
Yeah.
Those are the two picnic tables. Yeah, you can go ahead if you want to look at it there. If you don't believe me, I took it from Google.
Yeah, those are definitely picnic tables. You've got it outlined correctly, Karen.
That's okay. Let Patty look.
Yeah,
That's
why
what,
she's
as I
doing
said,
the-
everybody is entitled
making
to.
everybody dizzy.
Yes.
Almost. I'm gonna
Where-
let my dog back in.
Where's that 5? Wow.
See,
Yeah.
I thought the snack shack was over here.
No, it's the.
Oh,
So-
no,
it's
there it
the-
is.
So that's the
Yeah.
snack shack and the
Never
deck in
mind.
front of it.
Okay, never mind.
So the scoreboard is over to the left of the picnic
At the
tables, like
scoreboard?
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, sorry, my bad.
No,
I just wanted to do
I
that to make you all dizzy. Do you want me to go
I
back?
knew
to
I
town
knew I
center?
would be proven right.
I'll go back to the town center now.
What's the?
There you go. Everybody dizzy?
What's the?
But
Let's
David,
to
go ahead.
David's house.
There's like you mentioned the 540 square feet number.
yeah, actually, I did want to talk about it.
That seems-
That's a really good point. So what I tried to this is somebody who's not used the Google Maps and the measurement tool. But what we talked about is when you think about you have each building, and I actually have some calculations somewhere. You have each building, and if you include the decks, the snack shack is actually about 258 square feet. And the porta potties, I went over and measured, they're approximately 66 square feet. But if you think about the space in between that it's occupying, that's kind of wasted space, and you consolidate that, you end up with a smaller footprint. Does that make sense? And I'm not sure the best way to.
I don't think that makes sense.
Well, that was when we were talking with Darcy, we realized that that actually it is a valid point, and that you're gonna be consolidating those two things, and it's gonna be more compact over there. Because nobody's really sitting in, trust me, nobody's gonna wanna sit next to those porta potties. I was over there when I was measuring, and it was so nasty. So I don't know the best way, and I think I'll go back and chat with Darcy about the best way to do that. But that's why, that's where that square footage comes from, and it's approximate. It would have to be measured again, because the first time I did it just from the snack shack, not from the very back deck piece of the snack shack and
Yeah,
over. But you really have this area that is not, I mean, this piece
So you're
in between,
basically saying half of this area would go away because you're getting rid of the porta potties and you're only using this back space here.
more or
Yeah, and
less, or if you chose to, you could choose to put the new building further away from Alpine Road, right? You could move it towards
Yeah,
the
you
picnic
could.
tables and actually increase the existing setback that you have with that building. Do you see, does that make sense?
Yeah.
You kind of have area to work that might actually be, a better solution than where that shack is.
it also provides a handful of additional parking spaces too, if it logistically can get set up the right way.
And that's not a bad thing.
But
No.
but like but we're gonna have a deck in front of this thing probably, or at least a pad, and that adds square foot, and so like it's, I don't know.
Well, Patty, go back to the
I don't think that's
photo
I
of the
explained the full
existing
540 that you're
restroom.
resolving.
I think we need to visualize and find that out, and I think that's one of the things the landscape architect would do. But I'll go back to Darcy and talk about the best way to present the square footage issue. She felt that this was a good argument to show it this way, but I have to say, I'm not, you can see it says final numbers need to be verified.
Yeah, but
I mean, you might just shorten it to just say something like this last sentence. The new structure would represent a reduction in the size of the areas that the current structures occupy, and leave it at that, and take the math out of it. And then if we need to expand on it for the study session, we can.
That's fine with me. I mean, because the real thing that they're trying to approve is, or figure out is, do we want to move forward with the project, and are we okay putting it in that area? Are we willing to consider that?
God damn it, the answer is yes, let's go.
Okay, well,
Who's-
I'm gonna follow up with Darcy on that one, as well. So we've got the civil engineer and the math, and maybe the argument that we can create more parking spaces too. I think that's a good one. I think that definitely could happen.
Yeah, more for Zots to pay us for.
what is the kind of, is the operation of the study group or whatever, is that well understood? And it doesn't matter because we have no authority over it anyway.
It's just like a town council meeting, except it's not under like Morris Brown Act rules. So it's the town council, town staff as they see fit to invite, and then it's also open to the public. So it's
Okay.
just
It's and David, they did one recently. There was a study session on revenue enhancements.
Okay.
And so they talked, about the pros and the cons and what they thought, but it wasn't necessarily it was a study session versus that they were making absolute decisions at that point in time.
Sounds like the perfect next step.
I was really, I mean, I'm very impressed by Darcy. And I was very pleased that she's very supportive of this project, and she is, she's gonna be very valuable, I think, as we move forward.
Oh,
What-
come on. We were impressed a lot.
What happens after the study session?
We will have answers. So Patty, move down to where the answers that they have to, I think there's one above that. So can we go and study the next stage? And get into that if they're open to that. And then the manager will, she'll do some RFPs, or somebody in the staff will. And then they will also talk about their, the location and the funding. So I guess there are going to be some decisions made here. Yeah, you can move forward to get to the next, the next stage.
My point is, can we draw up our proposal to be even more aggressive on the scope and the amount of work that gets completed by this, to move the project even further? Right, maybe with some gates or something, but.
My immediate thought is no, and I know, unfortunately, we all couldn't be in the meeting with Darcy. But I think we don't know exactly what those steps might be, which is why the town would want to engage those professionals. So we don't want to, I'm concerned about saying things that might not be where we end up, but maybe I'm misunderstanding you.
Well, I think we have to trust Darcy on this extent. She is, first of all, done this before, and second, she is our go-between to the town council, and she knows best at this point in time how to work with them, how to get their attention on something, and how to move this along. And this is her recommendation. And David, I completely agree with you. I would love to go in there and just drop in a drawing of this building and say, here it is. We need a civil engineer. We're going to put in an oak tree. Bam, let's go. But unfortunately, we got some politics that we got to get through. And I think Darcy is trying to help us get through it as quickly as possible. I think she truly understands the, it's not an emergency, but the immediacy of what we're trying to do. And she thinks this is the quickest way to go about it. Yeah. And as much as I would love to get more aggressive, I kind of have to defer to her on this now. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Can we?
And I second Patty's comments on this.
Can we can we suggest a timeline that is fast or not?
Well, we've kind of done that with the grant.
Okay, all right.
We've said, look, guys, sorry, I'm making you all dizzy again. Yeah, look, guys, we got a grant out there, and we do have a date that we're shooting for. So,
seems like we should add a thing that we would hope that the study session could complete their work by June of 26. right?
Oh, you know what?
Or something
I
like
don't
that.
think, I don't think we're being very
Public
clear.
comment and stuff like that.
Okay, so one of the things, I think I will go ahead and I will boldface the grant will expire and all work should be completed. Like, we can definitely do that. Um, but, I'm sorry, I just got a phone call while I was there. What was your other? Oh, I wanted to explain that this study session is a one-time study session that would happen in the fall. And then the council would say, move this project forward or don't move it forward right now.
Yeah, but how
So
do we
it's
make
not-
the study session like complete in an expeditious manner such that it
Well-
doesn't go for 4 or 6 months,
What-
right?
Okay, so Darcy's impression is that the council will provide direction in this fall meeting. And
Yeah.
it's Darcy and her staff that will be responsible for the next phases. It's, you know, in terms of doing the RFP to look at the appropriate individuals that they need for the design. And she said in many towns, the town council actually is the one that runs it. We asked about, the council may decide they want this stuff to go to ASCC and planning, but that's, Darcy we would be dependent on, Darcy would know the time frame that's necessary to get that done. So there wouldn't be like, my hope, and I didn't hear this from Darcy, is there wouldn't be future study sessions with the council necessarily. There might be proposals, but not
Unless they
necessarily a
turn it
study
down.
session.
Unless they turn it
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they turn it down, you know, we're back to square one. But if they say we support this project, you know, then Karen's right. Then we'd work with Darcy to put a timeline together of, you know, when to do what by when. I can be redundant.
And I'll look and see if we can put time is of the essence somewhere in here too. I think that's a good point.
Just say, get your shit together. It's a yes.
Patty, these meetings are recorded, just a friendly
All right.
reminder.
Yeah,
Really? Oh my God. I'm sorry. Not really. I'm not.
what was it?
Not at all. Okay. These are all great comments, great discussion. Anything else? Okay, so sounds like Karen has a couple things that she's gonna either circle back with.
Oh, sorry, I did have something else. Does that,
Yeah.
had anybody talked to Dana or Dana? Like, is she pro Ford Field restrooms or anti, do we know?
I'll follow up with her. I saw her earlier.
Good question.
What was that?
Oh,
I
that's a
know
good question.
she
Well,
said
she was
that
here and then we didn't get to it and then she left, so it'd be nice to know, like, if she's what her stance is right now.
I don't think she has I think she wanted to learn more about the project. She loves the snack shack. She said at one point it was offered to her when I think there was like back in 2012, they were looking at putting in bathrooms, you know, when they were redoing the field and there were some snafus. But, and I said, you know, that snack shack needs some work. So anyway, I mean, and she knows that. So I think she was just more interested in what was going on with the project, but
All right.
I'll follow up with her
She was,
too.
okay.
I think we should call it the Love Shack.
Well, then we have to have the B-52s playing there. But anyway,
That'd be fun.
okay. And if you think of anything else, just let me know, but I'll follow up with Darcy. I'll send her something either tonight or tomorrow morning, probably tomorrow
So,
morning.
given those inputs and the follow-up that Karen has talked about, is the committee support moving forward with this as an approach?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% happy with the draft yet.
Okay,
I have
other
a
than
few
the
other comments, I'll email them to you.
okay. Can you email them to Patty and I? Because this is sort
Okay.
of a joint document.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And Lindsay is saying that he's favorable vote moving forward. This is something he's been involved in 30 years trying to get this done. So he's very much for it. He's sitting here saying that. So
You know, Lindsay may have
Lindsay.
some great institutional knowledge that we're looking for on this. So Rita, maybe I'll follow up with you guys later and see if he can share any. And we can't find much history on this whole thing.
yeah,
At all.
We've got boxes of stuff. I don't know how much of it relates to this, but lots of Alpine Little League stuff. And he was commissioner, and this is something that they truly for 30 years have hoped for. So, yeah. Anyway, more than helpful. Try to be helpful if he can remember it.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. I have nothing on parking, and those are the end of the agenda items. Anybody have anything else? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Oh, wait, did you say you did do parking or you didn't? Can I now as a public person say something or not?
You're not a public person, you're pseudo committee. So yes, you can say something.
One reason I stayed in here with Lindsay was we're now going through with the kids, grandchildren, and trying to park at the soccer field, next to Rosati's is unbelievable. And all these sweet young parents with their little kids are just, I mean, there almost been fisticuffs out there the last 2 nights of kids arriving for soccer practice and stuff. And there are like 6 places for soccer to have preferential parking there in front of the field. And then the rest of it is all, and I don't really know what the ZOT setup is, how much they pay or any of that, but I guess I'm asking, there's just a couple little signs that say soccer. What are the ground rules for using ZOT's parking for the field there, the soccer field?
So that's a very good question, and it's not a new one. So the answer at a very high level is that the town and SOTS share ownership of the parking lot. The town owns a portion of it, SOTS owns a smaller portion. SOTS pays the town a very, very meager amount to rent the entire parking lot for their use. They have a contract that has not been renegotiated since 2010.
Wow.
And as a committee, we have asked the town multiple times to prioritize this and renegotiate it. Number one, that they're not paying enough. And number two, that there is not a system in place to allocate and ensure adequate parking for people who use the soccer field. So we're very, very aware of the issue. We know that the soccer field is very underutilized because there are teams who have decided not to play games there, matches, because of the parking issue.
Right.
So it's a field that is completely underutilized. ZOTS is underpaying, and there needs to be a renegotiation of the terms so that there's a process in place that's adequate parking for soccer. That is not been a priority with the town because they have not had resources to apply to it. We've argued that it's a revenue situation and they should make it a priority, but it's not bubbled to the top of the list. We continue to push it. We continue to make it visible. Comments like yourself saying it is very, very important because we bubble those up to the town. But it's right now, we don't have a solution. I don't know if anybody else
Can
can.
I want to add something, which is the town has a consultant working on what they're calling a fee study. And the parking rate fees are, and the contract, that's a part of this fee study, is to see how much parking is. So that's the piece about what we're getting paid, but we also need to figure out how to, I think we've asked for 30 spots. They're supposed to be giving us for soccer, and Zotz isn't managing that. Like, they're not meeting their end of the bargain, and we've not figured out how to fix that. Yeah.
Well, we haven't figured out, they don't have any motivation to do it now because there's nothing contractually that requires them to do it. It's just been a gentleman's agreement, and they're not in agreement. So yes, we have asked for 30 spaces. We have asked for a system to ensure that we get that and that it's not been set up.
Well, they have their own parking people. I mean, it took me 10 minutes tonight to drop off kids, and you can't drop off little kids, 4 or 5 years old. So you have to park first, and then they're really late for their game or whatever it is. And Zotz has its own parking people. And I said, this is for soccer. And the time before, there were the 5 spaces that say soccer, and they're little movable things. And their folks did not make any arrangements for us to use more than the 5. And so you just circle around and try to find a place. And luckily the games or the practices right now are at 5, and it's already full with their people. But it would be even worse if the games were, 6 or something, when it's even more crowded. But these young parents, new sort of to the town, they don't know what to do. They just, they say to me, this is terrible. What is going on here? Zotz owns all this. And I just think that a lot of them are not speaking up because they don't know the arrangement. And but it is keeping kids from playing, quite frankly, because they're missing their games because they can't drop off a little kid and then you go find a parking place, 2 miles away or whatever it is. So anyway, several people asked me if I would just bring it up if I mentioned that I might be at this meeting. So obviously you're well aware of it, but I didn't realize it was so bad for the soccer. I know it's bad for Ford Field, and that's a whole different issue where they're parking all their staff people. But for the soccer, it's just a tiny front row, and that's it. And it's interesting, Patty, that you say that the town actually owns the majority of that lot. Well, we're talking, just one little sliver right there in the front that they make allowances for soccer. So maybe the town could at least mark off 30 spaces or something, if that is the current agreement, at least to make it known that that is not for patrons. I don't know. I know you've got a lot on your agenda and there's a lot about this, and I know I've seen it on here on Lindsay's agenda all the time, but I don't know. I guess I hadn't faced it as a grandmother before. And I really feel for these young families that are trying to establish themselves here.
Rita,
Well,
I have a suggestion to tell the soccer families. I think that they need to put something in writing and send it into the town. Because the more that the town hears from
Residents.
Yeah.
and about the problem, it becomes a bigger issue. And right now they're we have been griping about it, but I think that the more residents we can get behind it and talking about it is important. Does anyone know the best channel for sending in an email to the town, just to the town clerk?
I would send it to Darcy. I mean, the clerk will read all of them anyway.
Yeah, actually send it right to the town manager. I feel badly doing that to her. But it is important, and I think having it in writing is super important.
Okay, well, I will, again, I'm not part of the AYSO structure right now. I'm just trying to help out, but I will make it known to these young families to seek out those in charge and to have maybe a petition or something so that they could send it to the town about how difficult it is.
Yep.
Appreciate your comments, Rita. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
it has been incredibly frustrating for us because we just don't see a solution. I mean, I see a solution. We just don't see the parties moving in that direction.
So it's not your committee
No.
that sets like the parking rates or anything like that. The town does that, right?
Well,
Or they-
we have been working with the safety committee, so it's kind of a combined safety Parks and Rec, but it's an issue and they own the contract. So our committee doesn't own the contract. We just reflect the comments from the soccer teams and see the fact that the field is underutilized and that the town is not getting the fees that they should. So we kind of see the issues around it, but the town owns the bigger arrangements.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for letting me ask that.
Thank you. Okay.
Patty, sorry, I do have one quick thing. I don't know if this is a us situation or if it's a Justin specific situation. The crows have been super aggressive in eating the grubs on the field at Town Center and Ford. I know it's on Justin's radar, but the grass is getting like decimated by crows like in a very short period of time. Would that be something to handle directly with Justin to try to figure out the grub, how to get the grub population under control so that it doesn't perpetuate?
Well, yes, to answer your question. I'm sure he's aware of it. Karen and I were actually walking the softball field this afternoon to try and figure out where to put the dunk tank. And it was that there were many bare spots on the softball field. I'm sure he's aware of it. I mean, I'd be happy to send him a note and just ask him if he could provide, say a status to this committee, since we do have field management as one of our charters. So
yeah, I think that would be helpful because I think the Ford situation is a lot worse than the Town Center one. And I know it's on his radar. I just don't know if there's a fix or if it's how high it is on the priority list, but I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay, certainly. Thank you for bringing it up. Okay, anything else? All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, well, we got a record here.
Oh.
10:02.
I didn't have the sound up.
That was a good meeting, buddy. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate all your
Yes.
input.